a bit closer. Okay. Well, thank you, Chiara. I'm another person from TU Wien. Although so if you go to TU Wien in January, I won't be there because I'm at the moment visiting in Amsterdam. Well, now I'm here. So this is a work which was done together with Stéphane de Tournay, Wout Mervis and Kim Seng. And let's start with some motivation. It's known since the 70s, after some groundbreaking works of Hawking, Wittgenstein, Bodine, and Carter, that black holes behave like thermodynamic systems. They have a temperature and they have a very large entropy. And now a question that has been posed in literature and that has also come up already in prior talks is, what is the microscopic origin of this gravitational entropy? And to answer this question, it's often useful to consider toy models. So if you consider, for instance, gravity in 4 dimensions or higher, technical complexity is often quite high. So that's why people often consider 3-dimensional gravity. And Strominger did a calculation in 3D. So he showed that the entropy of a certain 3-dimensional black hole, the BTC black hole, precisely matches the Cardy formula. So what you can do is you can reproduce the entropy of the 3-dimensional BTC black hole through a computation which is purely done in the CFD. So you can count, so to speak, the microstates of the BTC black hole, albeit in the CFD. And since then, there have been many such matches. So in particular, I'm thinking of higher dimensional black holes or black holes that in some way are connected to the original ADS3 example, because quite often in higher dimensions, black holes have an extremal black holes have this ADS3 New Horizon region, and then you often connect to ADS3 in some way. But you can, of course, also move away, and many of the talks have also been here about moving away from anticipator, like, for instance, to consider flat space, and also to move away from CFDs. And one example of such field theories are so-called warped conformal field theories that you see here. So their symmetry algebra is also infinite dimensional, similar as in CFD. So you have these operators Ln and Pm, where n and m are integers and run over all. Yeah, they are integers. And one important feature of these warped CFDs is that they don't have a scale invariant in both directions as you have in a CFD, but they only have scale invariance in one direction. So they only have chiral scale invariance. And now in the work that I did with my collaborators that I specified before, we considered particular spacetimes. This here is a warped flat space. The reason why it's called like this is because it's a vibration of a 2-dimensional flat space. Okay. Never mind. So this is a 3-dimensional spacetime. It's not a solution of Einstein gravity, but a solution to TMG. So topologically massive gravity with a positive cosmological constant. And the reason why we got interested in this spacetime is because it has somehow funny isometry. So you have positive cosmological constant, but the isometries are given by the centrally extended to the Poincaré algebra. So here you see centrally extended to the Poincaré. So P0, P1 are just the translations in Poincaré. K is the central extension, and J is the boost. So this is the first spacetime. But what you can do now, and what is quite often done in 3D, is you can study quotients. And if you look at a particular quotient that you obtain if you make identification along a killing vector, which is a combination of J and K with some constant in front of it, you get a 2-parameter family of solutions. And the parameters are the ones that you introduce when you make the identification. So xi and omega are parameters that you introduce. And these quotients of warped flat space, they were claimed to be black holes, and this is how we originally got interested in them, because they were somehow black holes with these funny isometries, and we were somehow interested, okay, what is the deal with them? And so one question that we wanted to answer was, are these warped flat spacetimes black holes? And this is somehow more difficult than you would think, because it's a 3D spacetime and everything seems super easy. But we actually used non-standard methods because Yeah, because the usual conformal when you try to do a conformal compactification, you see that it doesn't work out. So it seems to be the case that they are not conformally compactifiable, but you can use a very similar method. And if you construct the causal diagram, they look like this. So you have different regimes because of the parameters that you introduced when you made the identification, and the dashed lines here are the location of the killing horizon, which was claimed to be the black hole horizon. And then you have, in a certain regime, you have closed time-like curves, and this appear because of the identification that you introduced. So what you can do is you can cut off your space-time here, and then you end up with a singularity, but you don't have any closed time-like curves anymore. But what you see from these pictures, that in this causal diagram, there's no black hole, because if you take the causal path of Scry, it's everything. So these are solutions with a compact killing horizon, which is not an event horizon. So no, they are not black holes. Nevertheless, we have this compact killing horizon, and you can formally associate a temperature and entropy to it, which is more now like what you do in cosmological scenarios, where you also associate an entropy with a cosmological horizon. And this is the gravitational entropy. So this is P0 is the mass, L0 is the angular momentum. And what we showed is that you can reproduce this gravitational entropy through computation intrinsically done in the warped CFD, and that this matches. So, grazie. Thank you very much.
Okay, good. Any questions for Raphaela?
Yes.
The torus partition function of a warp conf theory known exactly?
Yes. So these were considerations that were done, I think 2012. And you can do something similar as you do in the CFD, right? That you use a different kind of modular invariance to, to relate a certain regime to another regime, and then project to the vacuum state, and then derive a entropy.
And it gives your formula. In the large C limit, do I get your formula? The one that the one for the black hole entropy.
Does it match with gravity?
Yeah.
Yes. So this is what we showed. So we showed that this entropy that you can. So there were already matches shown before, but in this particular instance, we showed that it matched with the gravity calculation. Yeah.
Very quick question. What's your microscopical interpretation or any? This because you mentioned the microscopic.
Yeah. So that we haven't studied.
Okay.
So I know that you discussed this in your talk, but we have just I mean, what we did is just the calculation. That the calculation of the entropy in the warped CFD, exactly. But not what is the interpretation of this counting that you do, or
not even trying to embed in string theory or do something.
No. So this is not this. So we haven't.
Okay.
No.
That's very interesting. Thank you.
Okay, I think that's the last speaker, so we can give a round of applause to Raphaela. Also again, thank you very much to everybody who presented the poster and also who presented here at the Gong Show. So the posters are outside. We're also going to have some refreshments, some small reception. So we can couple physics with some good food and some wine, I guess. So thank you very much. So this concludes the first day.